Okay, so we have 10 minutes for my train to arrive, and I promise to tell you everything about me. But only on one condition. Please don't ask me for my name. I'm 17 years old, and I'm studying in one of the premier institutions in Bangalore. My mother's a homemaker. Firstly, I come from a middle-class Telugu-speaking family. My mother's a homemaker. She studied only till class 5, and she has absolutely no idea about the world. She wants me to become a CA who's also an MBBS doctor with an MBA degree in marketing, doing real estate for a living. Confused? Exactly the reason why most kids my age are totally confused about their career options. So right from the time I can remember, my mom's always pointed at some man who makes potloads of money and told me, when you grow up, you should become just like him. Guess mom's taken the concept of job rotation literally. Okay, we are a tightly knit family. My dad's the head of the family. He takes all decisions, but he always takes my mother's consent before going ahead. I am much closer to mom than dad. Oops! Excuse me, I've got to call my mom. Ma? నేను ఇప్పుడు లేట్గా వస్తా ఎంజీ రోడ్లు ఉన్నాను మా ఓకే బాయ్ వస్తా బాయ్ Sorry, she gets worried when I'm late. So I always make it a point to keep her informed about my whereabouts. By the way, I never lie to my mom. Dad's a very simple man with strong principles though. One of the principles he follows is that people only value something when they've earned it. So, whatever I have today, I have it because I earned it. I had to score an 80 plus in one of the unit tests in class 5 to get myself my first set of G.I. Joe toys. Computer, 87% class 8. Fast track watch, 82% class 9. Adidas shoes, good clothes, 90% SSLC. You guys look bored. Wanna hear a secret? Aha! Look how inquisitive you guys are. Did you know that we Indians spend more time bothering about someone else's life than our own? It's in our blood, so I don't blame you guys. I have a crush on this girl from class. She's really cute, you know. And I really like her. But she, her friends, and a few guys from class, they go partying almost every night. I wonder how they get perm. All they talk about is classy pubs, fancy cars, sexy accessories, alloy wheels. My only reference to all this is Hot Wheels track set, 90% 7 standard. But you know what? I'm gonna get her. Haven't you seen in the movies? The boy often hails from a poor family. And they make movies based on real life experiences. Come on! It's the law of nature for opposites to attract. Oh shit. Going by that logic, rich attracts poor. And not middle class? Okay, let's not go there. I am gonna get her. And I can do anything for her. Firstly, I had to start dressing like them. So, low-waist jeans, styling gel, and Axe deodorant. Secondly, I had to start hanging around with I had to start hanging around with their group. There was this day when a guy from their group hadn't completed his assignments. It was the last day for submission and I'd got mine validated. So I gave him mine to submit. I owe you one, bro. Come and hang out with us sometime, he said. So this was how I started hanging around with my new set of friends. So every day after class, we'd hang out in a park close to college and then decide where to go from there. I'd obviously take my BMTC and one day, she made lunch plans and said, we should all go out for lunch tomorrow. That includes you, mister. Don't ditch. That was it. I had this soft, romantic song playing at the back of my head. Everything was in super slow motion. I had like this big smile on my face which got wiped off when I heard, "Endukra nautunavu loose na kodaka." That was Mom making me realize that I'm back home. I quickly ran into my room, locked myself up, and I flicked 500 rupees from Dad's wallet. It was for the first time that I'd flicked money. So I was feeling terribly guilty. But I guess I can live with that. The next day, for lunch, all of us went to this pub close to college. And I was a bit nervous because it was for the first time I'd bunked classes. It was all good fun for about an hour of us being there. And then suddenly, one of the guys from the group walks up to me and says, "Dude, just have one mug of beer, man." I refused politely, but he wouldn't give up. "Bro, just one mug, man, come on." This time, I was a bit stern when I refused. And then, from nowhere, another guy pops up, and in front of all the women, he says, "Dude, if you have the balls, just drink one mug, man." Firstly, I don't understand how drinking proves that your male genitals are intact. What's even more surprising is that women in the city these days talk to each other that way. Now, what are you trying to prove? I hope you girls realize that it's not very pleasing to think of women with guys or girls. All of us end up doing stupid things which we otherwise wouldn't have when possession of the is questioned. I was no different. I downed my first mug of beer. My first mug was soon followed by my second, third, and fourth. I was feeling okay for about 5 minutes. And then the smoke and the loud music made me want to throw up. By the time I could get up and run to the men's, I threw up all over the table and I passed out. When I reached home, my parents were freaked out. They realized that I'd been drinking. Dad was furious. He said nothing but stared straight into my eyes for about 5 seconds and poof! My first slap. The next day, when I got to college, I was walking through the corridor and one of the guys from class spotted me. He quickly ran back into class to inform the others about my arrival. And just when I was about to enter the class, the entire class stood up and started singing for me. "Loser, loser, loser, loser." I quietly put my head down and I rushed to my seat. And just when I was about to sit down, the same guy whom I'd helped earlier screams, "Whoever sits with him is a loser too." And I was shocked to see the guys whom I'd considered to be my friends disappear in seconds. This went on for about 2 weeks. It soon spread to the entire college like spitfire. And then, random people would walk up to me, calling me names, making fun of me. That was it. I wanted to put an end to all this. I did think about going to the authorities and complaining about what was going on. But now I'm just a loser. If I did something like that, I'd be called a pussy or a sissy, a combination of a pussy and a sissy, and whatnot. The best thing to do was to stay away. And that's exactly what I did. It's been 2 months now since I last went to class. I sit alone in a park and I while away my time. But yesterday, Dad got a call from college. They asked him to meet the principal. Today, when he walked out of the cabin, he looked at me and said that he was ashamed to have a son like me. I burst out crying and I told him what was going on in class. He looked at me and said, "You've proven them all right." And he walked away. I didn't want to go back to class, but I forced myself for Dad's sake. When I went back to class, they all pounced on me like a pack of hungry hounds, laughing, screaming, hooting. Luckily, we had an early let-off. I didn't want to go back home early because I was terribly, terribly upset. I hadn't been on the metro before, so I thought going all the way till Bayapanalli and back a couple of times would be a refreshing change. So now I have like a good 30 seconds left. Guess what? It's her. Welcome back, loser. Even you. I am not a loser. I hate being called a loser. Come on, I don't want to ever go back to class again. But no, I have to, for Dad's sake. But no! Everyone hates me! They don't care if I live or I die. All they do is laugh at the pitiful person that I am. I'm sorry, Daddy. I can't take this anymore. I can't afford to let you down time and time again. This is it. No! 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 If you've noticed, I've never, ever lied to my mom. I told her I was going to be late. I was very late. I was. I am. And I always will be remembered as the late. So this is my story.